Okay, so we're going to continue what we started yesterday. Yesterday we started talking about how to solve inequalities. Today we're doing the same thing. The only difference today is instead of one step to your answer, you're going to have more than one step, which again, it's why we spent so much time on equations last semester. That way when we get to inequalities, we don't have to spend as much time because you guys kind of know your steps to get through these, okay? There is one other rule that I am going to mention after we solve this first problem. Okay, actually, I'll just go ahead and put that up here. Does anybody remember what the rule is for inequalities? When you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, what you do?
Flip the thing.
Good.
What's an inequality?
So when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. Well, I'm going to give you time to write it down. That doesn't just mean if you see any negative in the inequality that you do this, but when you're solving out, right, if I have to multiply both sides by a negative or divide both sides by a negative, then that inequality symbol has to flip when you do that, okay? We will see some examples of that in our work today, so. But this is the only difference from solving equations that we have when we solve inequalities, right? Because there's nothing to flip when you solve an equation. Okay? Am I okay to move from this, or anybody still?
Hold on, I need to inequality. Alright, you're good.
All right. So first thing we're going to look at is just a word problem, okay? It says you don't have to write this whole thing down. You can just write the things you need. Okay, so Matt goes to the post office to mail a package. Stamps cost 49 cents. You might write that down. Stamps cost 49 cents. Every single stamp you buy, right, is going to be 49 cents. And then the package that he's sending costs $7.65. He only has $10. So we want to write and solve an inequality to represent this. So if I know the first thing they tell you is that it's going to be $7.65 to send this package, what should I start with? $7.65. Okay, so first thing I'm going to write down is $7.65. And then I have to put stamps on there to mail a package, correct? So what operation would I show to do that? Plus, how do I show 49 cents as a number? 0.49. And they're 49 cents each, so what should I put right after the 49? X, right? Because every stamp costs 49 cents. We might have to use 2, we might have to use 3, we really don't know. And then if he only has $10, what inequality symbol should I be using? Less than or equal to, because the amount I'm spending has to be less than or equal to $10. Good. Okay, so this is the first thing to write my equation out. And then I'm just going to rewrite it so I can solve. So 765 plus 49.49x less than or equal to 10. Okay, Evan F., can you tell me what my first step would be to solve this for x?
Subtract 7.65.
Good. We're going to subtract 765 from both sides. Because the right side doesn't have variables, so anything else without a variable is going over there with it. So I get 0.49x less than or equal to 2 point what? 35. Good. Hey, just as a reminder, if it was just 10 minus 7, it'd be 3. So anything over 7, it has to be less than 3. Okay? All right, and then everybody tell me what's my last step to get x by itself. Yep, I should have had more than one person saying that. We got to know our last step, you guys. Almost every time is to divide. Okay, somebody in your calculator do 235. Now, did I divide both sides by a negative?
No.
No. So do I need to change my inequality? No. Stays the same. So x needs to be less than or equal to what?
4.79.
Okay. What's after the 9?
5, 9.
Okay, so we're going to say less than 4.80. Because that 5 would round the 9 up. Okay, and since we're talking about money, we're going to use 2 decimal places. Okay. Now, can he really buy, X represents the number of stamps. Can he really buy 4.8 stamps?
Yes, you really good.
No, right? So really, he can buy 4 or less, correct? Because we know he can't buy 5 because that's going to put him over the limit. So really, we can buy 4 stamps or less. But when we're solving, we can use an exact amount, so that's okay. Okay, feel okay with this? All right. Next one we're going to be doing is just writing out a couple word problems. It's up to you if you want to write this whole thing out. I mean, your notes won't make a lot of sense if you don't have the words written, but that's up to you, okay? All right, 21 is greater than the sum of 15 and 2 times a number. Normally I would write the word number out, but just because I'm out of room, we're going to go. What's up, Hogan?
21.
Okay, hold on 1 second and I'll let you go. I'm going to let everybody write this down first. And then... Now, just as a reminder here, here's one thing you have to be careful on. Now that we're doing inequalities, the word less than could mean 2 different things, correct? What 2 different things could the word less than mean?
Subtract.
Could mean subtraction, or it could mean your inequality, right? So you just have to be careful when you see some of these words to know what they mean, right? So here, what does the word greater than mean? Your inequality, yes, okay? All right, Hogan, go for it.
21, alligator sign left.
Open this way.
Right.
Good. So greater than. And listen, I'm okay if you guys just say greater than or less than, okay? Because I think we kind of know those now. All right?
2
Good.
plus 2x.
Perfect. 15 plus 2x.
21 minus 15.
Now, on these, we're not even going to solve, okay? So make sure you're careful because, like, in your work today, it's going to tell you translate a sentence, and then it may tell you to solve, it may not. It does want you to solve these, so let's go ahead and solve. Okay, I'll let you do it, Hogan. I'm going to write it again so we can solve.
21 minus 15
Okay,
equals 6.
so we do subtract 15 from both sides to get 2x by itself. So we have 6 is greater than 2x.
Divided by 6 divided by 2, and you'll get your answer.
Okay. So we really get x is less than 3. Agree? I'm not going to go over putting these on a number line because I think everyone was okay with that yesterday, correct? So are we okay if I skip that today for time? Okay, good. Just make sure and pay attention. Some of them ask you to write the equation, solve, and graph, which I think that first set, which you only have 2 or 3 that you have to do like that. Okay? All right, next one. A number divided by 8 minus 3. Actually, I think it's minus 13. Yep. Is greater than negative 6. Anybody else want to go first before I? Okay, James, you got this one.
X.
Okay.
Is
Sorry, 1 second. You can go and write it down if you know it. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Oh, he sure is. I would love to. All right, bye. JC, office, please. All right, James, go ahead.
X. Casey, why would you divide
Because, bro.
Okay.
8
So x over 8.
x over 8
Yeah.
minus 13, and then you do a little alligator.
You can just say greater than. That's fine.
Yeah, it's greater than -6.
Good. Yeah, most of these you guys are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so I'm okay with that. Okay, now what about solving, James?
You add 13.
Good.
to both.
Yeah, so we're going to add 13 to both sides. So we get x over 8 is greater than 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this one's different because we're not going to divide by 8 like we normally do. What are you going to do here, James? Multiply by 8. Good. So both sides we're going to multiply by 8. So we get x is greater than 56. Okay. Are we okay with these that are a little more simple? Ready for the good ones? All right. Okay, now, again, some of these will ask you to solve and then graph. Other ones will ask you to just solve. All I'm going to do for our notes is just solve them because you guys know how to put them on a number line, okay? All right, so,
3.
yep, just tell me my first step, Hogan.
3 times A and 3 times 7.
Good, because what property is that showing that gets rid of our parentheses?
Distribute.
Yes, so we are going to distribute first. We distribute that 3. So we get 21 is greater than or equal to 3a minus what?
21.
Minus 21 plus 9. Okay? Emma, do you know my next step? Good. They're already on the same side, so we can just add those like terms. What is negative 21 plus 9? Anybody can tell me.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. Because remember, it's like 21 minus 9. Keep the negative. Okay. All right. Angie, do you know my next step? Good. We want to get 3a by itself, so we add 12 to both sides. We get 33 is greater than or equal to 3a. And then, Alice, what about my last step? Did you say 3? Good. Okay, so we get 11 is greater than or equal to a. Now, really, I would prefer you to write a first. How would I write this with a written first?
I'll say
A.
Less than or equal to 11. Good. Okay? We feel like we can all handle that type of problem? All right? Next one. What number am I on? 5? I tried to make those obviously different. The first one's b, the next one is 6. So 2 minus b, and then negative 3, b minus 6. Okay. Jesus, can you just tell me my first step here?
You do 3 times 2, and then you get 6 minus b.
Close. You got part of it right.
6 minus 6.
So we do get 3 times 2 does give us 6. And then what else am I multiplying? 3 and b, so it'd be minus
3B.
3b. Good. Okay, less than, I'm going to go ahead and put 10. Is there anything else I can do on that first step? Distribute what other number? Negative 3. Okay, JC, what do I get when I distribute negative 3?
3B and negative 18. Negative 3B.
Negative 3b and positive 18. Good. Yeah, just be careful about our signs on that. Okay. Anybody? Bless you. You can, you're not wrong, Callan. Yeah, always look for like terms that are on the same side, okay? Again, it's not wrong to do that, but we're always going to do like terms first. So we get 6 minus 3b is less than,
28 minus 3B.
okay, 28 minus 3b.
Can you minus 6? Have this a smaller number?
You can, but I would do what Aiden was going to say. I would go ahead at this step and put anything with b on the same side. How can we do that?
Plus 3B.
Okay,
Plus 3B from the 6 side. This one.
now, what happens to both of those?
They cancel.
On both sides, right? Okay, what am I left with?
6. 6 is greater than or less than 28.
Okay, is 6 less than 28?
Yes.
So this is a true statement, right? And we talked about this some last semester. What happens when the variable goes away and you get a true statement? What answer do we get?
The true statement.
It's one of two choices.
Oh, undefined.
All reals
Rational.
or no solution. So is this all reals or no solution? All reals because it's a true statement. So I'm going to write this out to the side so we remember. Now, just so you know, if I was going to graph all reals on a number line, anybody have an idea what that would look like? What would all numbers look like graphed here?
0 positive this one.
So it's only positive numbers?
Or it goes both ways.
So basically, your whole number line is shaded in, okay? Because there's no numbers here that couldn't be graphed. Now, if it's no solution, can I graph no solution on a number line? No, because there wouldn't be anything to graph. Okay? All right, 2 more. We're going to be done. All right, now, just as a reminder, nobody likes to work with fractions, right? So who can tell me how can I get rid of my fraction from the very beginning?
Multiply everything by 6.
Okay, so if I multiply this side by 6, what happens to those two 6s?
Cancel.
They cancel. And then I multiply this side by 6, what do I have to do? Distribute. Okay, does everybody see how that works? So what am I left with over here on the left side?
2x minus 4.
2x minus 4.
Greater than or equal to negative 30x plus 18 plus 12.
Okay. Negative 30x plus 12. All right. Isis, can you tell me what I would do next?
No.
Subtract 12. Okay. So we get 2x minus 16 is greater than or equal to negative 30x. Dylan, do you know my next step?
Subtract 2x.
Good. Subtract 2x.
Yeah, Dylan.
Okay, so I have negative 16 is greater than or equal to negative 32x. What's my last step, everyone? Divide by what? What is it? Okay. So if I divide by negative 32, what did we just do that we haven't done yet? Okay, I do have to flip my sign. So it was originally a greater than sign. Now it's switching to a less than. Okay, and over here I have two negatives, which make a what? Positive. What would 16 over 32 simplify to as a fraction? 1/2. Again, we can flip that around. So really x should be greater than or equal to 1/2. Yes? Okay. Do I need to do one more, or do we feel like we're okay with this? Okay. You may see one with a decimal. You guys, we're working it the same way we do anything else. It just has a decimal. Okay?
Return it to fresh.
All right. No, you can leave it as decimal. If it starts as a decimal, leave it as a decimal. Okay? All right. Your assignment today, I'm going to put this up there. Page 328. Now, listen so you know which numbers you're doing. Okay? No, 328 is not the right one. 341. 341. So you're doing 1 and 5, and then 6 through 10 is evens.
1 through 5 or 1 and?
1 and 5. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that went away. There we go. So 1, 5, 6 through 10 you do evens, and then on 16 through 26, that's also evens.